Welcome back to Awaken Bake, where we get high vibes and talk about the universe. I'm your host, Danny. I have a puppy in my lap and he has a cone on. If he pops his head up, don't freak out. Don't scream. If you're new here, hi, I'm Danny. I'm a psychic and a stoner, and I love to combine the two. Today, we're not going to do so much of the psychic shit, but I'm going to talk about childhood trauma, but more so what I've learned from it and what I think you probably can relate to as well, especially if you're someone who's been like the black sheep of the family, or to put it bluntly, you disappointed your parents in one way or another. But before we get into it, you're going to need a couple things for today's episode. First, you're going to need something to drink because I will not be responsible for you hooker whores being dehydrated. I'm drinking from my Flamingo water bottle. Got this bitch at CVS. I was in line, lost my water bottle the week before. Way too expensive for something that is, I'm sorry, it's not that cute. And then if you partake in gardening, like the internet makes us say these days, make sure that you have something to puff on. I am hitting my high 90s boysenberry. It's a hybrid. Okay, I think we just need to jump the fuck into it. I'm just going to say it. It's okay to disappoint your parents. Someone had to say it. I will be the one. I volunteer as tribute. Let me explain why I say this. Disappointing my father, and by that I mean just simply being my kind-hearted self, is the best decision I ever made. It's the best choice I ever made for myself. I'm not saying that you have to do what I did. I'm not saying it's a flex either to disappoint your parents, but I'm not saying it's not, because I am saying a lot of people's parents, sorry, y'all are not role models. Also, you're an individual fucking person. We're going to get into it. But on some real shit right now, and I don't mean this as like a bragging situation. I'm not like full of myself, but I am genuinely the safest, healthiest, most well taken care of version of myself that I've ever been. And honestly, one of the safest, happiest people that I know. And that's completely because I am a disappointment to my father. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be where I am right now. If I wasn't the person that I am right now, which is happy, healthy, safe, successful, well taken care of, surrounded by amazing friends, feeling comfortable in my human suit, finally, none of that would have happened if I was trying to please my dad. And it's also like I didn't have a choice in this because LOL, I got the type of autism where I just can't not speak my mind / be myself. I'm not talking about masking. I'm saying if I have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not, it's not going to happen. It's just not. If you try to convince me to be homophobic, it's not going to work because my brain is like, well, no, that's wrong. Well, no, that's wrong. And see, because I've decided that that's wrong, you're never going to break me, bitch. Because I've decided that you lack morals, I'm never going to be convinced by you. Let's take a hit and then I'll get into a little bit more details about what I'm trying to say. And this isn't going to be super eloquently put. I'm just talking shit with my friends while we get high vibes. Let's look at this a different way for anybody who's a little bit sensitive to this subject. You might have the best parents in the world. You might have average fucking parents. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. They're fine. They're normal. They're parents. Or you might have shitty fucking parents. Either way, they still don't have the authority to dictate your life and how you live it. And I don't mean telling you what to do when you're 7 fucking years old. We're all gonna use our adult brains right now, okay? In terms of how you live your life and exist in this world, your parents should not have authority over that. They got to live their life. They have their own life to live and focus on. You get to have yours. And again, everything I'm saying does not apply to safety things, right? But when you follow your heart, that's when it's going to work out for you. You don't need to question well, I'm trying to follow my heart, but so-and-so, whether that's mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, bitches from church, I don't give a fuck, are going to judge me for it. They might not like it. They might not approve. They wouldn't do it that way. Okay. Thank God they're not you. Thank God you're not them. And here's what I have learned, that it's the weirdest feeling, because you want to be told you so, but it just it doesn't quite feel that way. You're going to get to a place where people are going to see, oh my God, you're doing great. I'm proud of you. You've made it, or you've been successful in the areas that you put yourself out there for, even when people didn't believe you. You're going to end up doing well, right? And they're going to be wow, they're going to see it. They're going to see the success and they're going to say, oh, wow. And how did you do that? They're going to question it. They're going to try to diminish the hard work. They're not going to understand it because they see you thriving. They're jealous. They're judgmental. They're jealous they don't think that the way that you got there was the right way to do it. So they don't think that you're actually living correctly, but you know what it really is? They're mad. They're mad, and let them be mad. Let them stay mad. I don't know how else to say this, right? But when did we all become pussy ass bitches? Again, it's the type of autism that I have. So I was 7 years old, having full on arguments with my dad. And if you're trying to argue about homophobia with a 7-year-old and the 7-year-old is telling you, I don't even understand what it is to be gay yet, dude. But I do understand that doesn't sound like there's anything wrong with it from what you're saying, but you're real passionately angry about it. And I'm confused, but I'm not going to submit to your mindset because I'm well, you sound angry and bitter and judgy. Can't relate. I just can't lie about that. I just can't pretend to be a bitch that I'm not. So if I disagree with you, You're gonna know. So it's weird to me that I was like a little baby, like arguing with my father about things that are like now as an adult, things that I know now, wow, these are extremely important topics. And when you have a difference with somebody like this, it's a difference in character and in morals. But what I'm saying is like, even as a kid, I was like, this feels so weird that you're so like passionate about something that even as a 7-year-old, I was like, you're mad for no reason. Like, I don't get it. I just feel like 7-year-old Danny was telling her daddy off. Your 37-year-old ass can do the same. Take a hit. Something that I think about a lot is if I didn't disappoint my father, especially in the ways that I did, specifically in the ways that I did, I would still be living at home with him because he never wanted me to move out. I would be working a city job for minimum wage because women shouldn't work anyway, and I should just try to find a husband who will take care of me so I can pump out babies. I would probably have bleach blonde hair, no tattoos, minimal fucking piercings because that's how he thinks women should look. And I'll probably have really bigoted views. So thank God, you know what I mean? Thank God I'm a disappointment. And then even on the other side of things, like not the negative things, right? I moved to New York City when I was a teenager. I made the most incredible connections and friends. I got an amazing education in the arts. Like I was already, like my whole childhood, I went to art school, but then like going to New York, obviously it's different than Cincinnati. Going to New York and I got to learn from like people on Broadway and these incredible professionals. And I was living on the Upper West Side and my classes were at like the Ansonia and it was incredible. And my main building was like right next to Juilliard. It was an incredible experience. I've lived all over the US. I married the love of my life. We have 2 beautiful puppies. I started Awake and Bake. I found that my passion was actually in cannabis. And through that, cannabis has helped a lot of my chronic health issues. I got diagnosed and figured out what a lot of my health issues actually are. I got diagnosed as autistic. I'm healing my nervous system. I started pole dancing. I've really expanded the type of artist that I am. And I'm finally comfortable in the way that I look and like in my human suit because, oh, I know you're going to be so shocked. My dad used to love to remind me that he hated the way that I look. Being away from that and just doing what makes me feel confident, shockingly, really helps you feel good about yourself. Now I am living in this beautiful place that I have lived in America so far. And I'm with the love of my life and our 2 beautiful dogs. And I am finally financially stable and secure. And it's just like, wow, all of those wonderful things because I am a disappointment to my father. Shout out to my mama though. I was never a disappointment to her. Let's take a group hit. And then not to end this like emotionally, it's more sappy because it's not like bad. It's no secret that if you have a parent that is causing like an unhealthy environment for you at home, you're going to have a hard time at home. That was no secret for me and anyone who knew me growing up. And it was so funny because the class ahead of me when I was in high school, somebody that I had an acting class with wrote me a letter before they graduated thanking me for showing them that it's okay to have different opinions than your parents and to maybe disappoint your parents in some ways, but like that doesn't make you a failure or you a bad person. And they said like, thanks for showing me that you can be a great person even if your parents don't like you. That was just crazy to me to have somebody around my age like recognize that in me and like see that in me, because when you're a kid, you're like, I don't think I'm the problem. I actually think that the other adults around me are the problem, but it feels that way because I'm the child and like it's so dysfunctional. So you're like, I guess I'm the issue. And like, of course, my best friends would always support me and tell me like, you're not crazy. But having somebody who wasn't like a close friend, as in they knew what was going on like on the inside of my life, like all the details and everything. But for this person to say to me, you made me realize you can still be a really good person even if your parents don't like you. Like, I will never forget those words. I think about them all the fucking time and it meant so much to me. And then since then, I think about this all the time. Oh, he knows I'm getting emotional. He's just checking on me. I love you, Monkaboo. My little Buddha boy. But it's just since then, it's really made me think about like, yeah, don't be afraid to disappoint people who claim to love you, but only conditionally when you're doing the things that they want you to do, when you look how they want you to look, when you have the same opinions and thoughts and ideas that they want you to have, when you're doing the path of life that they want you to take. Like, it's just, hey, I don't give a fuck if I disappoint you. And that's not how I should measure my success, especially when it's people who it's like, but I don't want to be like you. Why would I take advice or like take my worth of, oh, you don't like me, oh, I'm disappointing you, from somebody who I literally don't want to be like or who I just don't agree with? You know what I mean? Okay, you know what I mean. Let's take a hit, like a palate cleanser hit. I got a puppy in my lap. Oh, he's about, wait for the outro. You guys are going to see. He's going to jump up and give me kisses. Anyway, that's just been on my mind a little bit recently. I don't know if it's because I'm on my period and I'm emo or if it's because I had therapy and we were talking about my childhood. I don't know, you guys. But all I'm saying is thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your grandma, and as always, stay high and don't be afraid to be the disappointment of the family.